the one. Is there a soulmate, or is it just a theory? Well, it depends who you ask and what you believe. And nobody can really answer that. It's, we can't. Because we, see things differently, and that's okay. But there are some things that I want you to think about when you're dating. And, we as humans, life is a journey, and we learn lessons, and then we become better people, stronger and better moving forward. So it could be that you've met your soulmate a couple times during, at a crossroads in your life or something, and you just weren't at the right, you didn't realize it, or you didn't know it. But I don't believe that there's just one person for everybody. I believe that we go through different stages in our life, and we're in different places. And when we are going through things, we meet people for a reason. And it's what we choose to do with that moving forward. So anyway, I don't believe that there's just one person for everybody, but I do believe that finding the one should not be your agenda. And it sounds crazy, but because most people have this ideal, right? My type, this would be my perfect person. If I could create the perfect person, forget that. Forget about your ideal. I'm going to explain why. Because what happens is, when we're going through life, and if you have an ideal in your mind, then you are setting expectations on somebody else. And every time you do that and you don't get what you want or what you expect, you're going to be disappointed. And it kind of creates this, this vortex of misery kind of thing, and negativity. So forget what your ideal is, because you know what? The person that's meant for you will find you regardless, and it may surprise you, because they may not be your quote-unquote ideal. And that's okay, because things we create stuff in our head that we think we want, or but in reality, when it's put in our lap, then all of a sudden we don't really want it. We want something different. It's just human nature. So forget the ideal, okay? Because the right person for you, you'll have the chemistry. Number one, pay attention to this. Chemistry is super important in the beginning, because it's what draws people together. It's one of the 3 C's of a successful relationship. It is, it's not the only thing that's important, but in the beginning, it's super important, because it's what draws people together, and it's what makes people want to get to know the other person. And that's important. But the right person for you will automatically, you will want to be a better person. When you meet the right person, you will want to be a better person. You'll want to gravitate up, and you will start to gravitate up, because you want to be the best you can be for that person. Okay? Number 2, for the right person for you will never ask you to change. That's right. If somebody tries to ask you to change, or get you to change, or manipulates you, or whatever, walk away. They're not the right person for you. The right person for you is going to be someone that you go through battle with. You go through some life shit together, and you create, one or two things happens to people in those situations. They either, go their separate ways, or they create a bond, and a strong bond. Every time you go through some shit with your person, your bond will get stronger and better. And pay attention to what they say, but also pay attention to what they do. And if their words and their words and their actions don't match, then it's probably not the right person for you. But as far as soulmate, I don't really use that word too much. That's just me personally. I know a lot of people use it, but when you meet the right person, you will know. And you may fight it, because it's not going to match your ideal. And that's what I'm talking about. Let go of the ideal, because if you may be missing opportunities, and who's to say that we don't have many soulmates throughout our life at various, crossroads in our life, because we're changing, not fundamentally, but our perspective is changing, and we're learning lessons. So pay attention. And when that person comes along, but don't go out and actively seek your ideal. It's a mistake. You're setting yourself up for disappointment and negative feelings. So just, take it slow and get to know somebody. And like I said, you have to go through some shit with somebody. That's when you see the person right there, because they can't have that mask on when they're going through some shit. It's too much. So pay attention to that, because if you create that bond with somebody, chances are good that you have found your person, and embrace it and do everything to protect it. Good luck.